Alright guys, today we have the young Ahamkara spined build with my little twist on it. I know this is a very common build, especially in Edge of Fate, but I took it and, just slapped Devil's Ruin on because it's really good. I don't know if this thing's getting nerfed in Ashen Iron, and I'm recording this before it drops, so please don't yell at me if it did just get nerfed. I haven't really looked at the patch notes, so sorry about that if it's true, but even then this should still work pretty well because we're really building into fire sprites in, of course, ignitions because we're using young Ahamkara spine. Who doesn't love having an Ahamkara's spine on your arm for tactical nuke usage? And don't mind the double primary, that was just for champs in the Lost Sector that I did to show off the gameplay. But let's get into this and do it quickly. For fragments, we are running Ember of Torches for that Radiant on your melee, Ember of Ashes to apply more Scorch, because our Trip Mine is going to intrinsically apply some of that Scorch. We're also doing Ember of Singeing so that we get our class ability back faster. That's going to work into our melee, as well as getting our grenade back. There's a bit of a loop with this build you can do, and that's going to be pretty important. Now here's where the fire sprites come in. Ember of Mercy. Ignore the first part. Really, we're just focusing on the fact that picking up a fire sprite grants restoration. And we're also going to have Ember of Searing on, so that defeating scorched targets grants melee energy as well as creates a fire sprite. Now if you want to build into these fire sprites even more, you could put on Ember of Empyrean. You could either switch that out for Searing if you want more survivability and to have Radiant for longer. Could also switch it out for Singeing. It's really up to you, but if you want to go full into the fire sprites, that's fine. Gambler's Dodge, because we're going to be using our melee quite consistently here. And aspects, I have Knock 'em down and On Your Mark. If you're bored of using these two on every solar build, you can put Gunpowder Gamble on. You are going to lose a fragment slot, which I don't know why they decided to do that, but that's honestly why I am not running it personally. But everyone's different, and if you want to do that, go right ahead. Blade Barrage is very nice, which is why we're going to keep Knock 'em down on, as that enhances your Blade Barrage, and of course will restore your Throwing Knife as long as you get a final blow with it. So that means you can basically spam it as long as you have enough adds around you. Now for our armor mods, I'm doing double Ashes to assets. Really up to you if you want to do a Dynamo here. Again, you are going to be dodging. You're going to get your melee back regardless, most of the time, depending on what your melee stat is. We'll get to those stats in a second. And, Dynamo is a solid option. Again, you're going to be able to spam your knives, so hands-on isn't bad either. And I just have Harmonic Siphon on because, it made the most sense to fill out this slot here. Now, for your arms, I didn't have this Artifice, and I don't know if I actually can't really do anything with that. But regardless, I do have Solar Loader on here. You don't necessarily need this per se. I was trying out Ariana's earlier. I think that's why I had it on. So you could go Firepower and Heavy-Handed. If your grenade stat is lower, like mine is, it's not close to 200, you could throw a Font mod on. You don't need Fastball either. But again, I don't really have anything else that can fit in this slot, so I just have it on. Remember, Ahamkara Spine, even though it doesn't tell you, already has Fastball on, so it's kind of redundant to have it on here, but, I do anyways, so yay. And then for your resist, just match it to the enemy type that you're facing, whatever that may be. Concussive for stuff like Hive Ogres and all that stuff, and then Sniper if you're plonking in the back or whatever, melee if you're up close. And your boots, I have double recoup on just to get some extra healing. This isn't necessary. Feel free to swap this out for whatever. Again, you are going to be doing a lot of fire spriting, so feel free to put Elemental Charge on, as you're going to get some armor charge from that. But I do think if you're going to run recoup, I think you have to run 2 to make it effective now, as it did get hit really hard in Edge of Fate. So, you might not need this. Just go with what you feel is best. But those are certainly the options there. And then Reaper's always nice. I love Powerful Attraction. It's so good. And just another Reaper as well. But, if your class is low, you could also slap class font on. Remember, the fonts, I think, give you 20 stats. And speaking of stats, we're going to prioritize grenade, melee, and class. Now, I think class is getting fixed in Ash of Iron. I'm like 90% sure on that. You can see this here that I have super energy. I wish I didn't. I wish I could, take this and distribute it evenly between my grenade and melee. This is just what I have with this armor set bonus on. I could get my grenade higher with a different set bonus, but the Solstice armor just works so well with this build that that's what I'm running. So don't worry about running this specifically. Run whatever works best for you to get the best stats possible. Or again, this armor set if you have it, as you have to get this armor set from Solstice, and that's an event that is not currently available. So yeah, but aside from that, if you're running it with the Fire Sprite setup, you're definitely going to want Devil's Ruin on. Now the way this works, if you've never used it, is you're going to create a Fire Sprite, pick it up, and then you will have a special reload animation, and you'll see in the gameplay, you'll fire a laser, and that does some pretty big damage as well as blows everything up. It's very, very satisfying. And of course also will stun those unstops. I'll let the gameplay speak for itself so you can see how it works. It's a very fun build, and I am enjoying the fact that Solar Hunter is very much back in the game. I thought Prismatic was way stronger, and it is, but this isn't bad. This is actually pretty fun. Of course, there are some detriments to this build. The survivability can be a little iffy, but the fact that the trip mines no longer kill you or even damage you at all is so nice. You never have to worry about it aiming towards you and just blowing you up, and that's the benefit of this build for sure now. When you compare it to one of our more recent builds, the Caliban's Hand build, that build can and probably will kill you if you're not careful, whereas this one, I mean, it's really just your situational awareness and so on. But yeah, I mean, enjoy the build, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and have fun in Ash and Iron if there's any fun to be had.